So the first movie I'm going to talk about is Battle LA, also known as Battle Los Angeles. I know that this movie's been out for a couple of weeks, so anybody who wanted to see it would have seen it by now. But I thought I'd use this as a sort of first example of how I judge a movie from my, perspective. And basically, I'll start with the trailer. It was intense. Looked like it had a lot of action in it, and I was definitely ready to see this movie. But after seeing Battle LA, I wasn't really that impressed. For one, you can't tell from the trailer, at least in my opinion, you couldn't tell, but I expected more of an alien movie, and this was more focused on the platoon. And it came off a little bit like a war movie to me, and I'm not really a big fan of war movies. War movies tend to have way too many characters. The camera is just all over the place. I mean, there's a lot of action in it, but then again, I never really know what's going on. There's so many editing cuts, and it's just all over the place. So I tend to really get bored watching war movies sometimes because it all seems to just look the same after one explosion after the other. So this movie definitely could have been a little bit better as far as taste value. I wanted to see more of an alien movie, and they didn't really focus on the aliens that much. I mean, they were obviously the obstacle of the movie, but the movie focused more on the platoon and their story and how they are working together to take back their city from an invasion. And so I'd have to say that it was very entertaining. There was a lot of action in it. There was a lot of cliche points that were in there. It was a little bit predictable. Some of the characters, you've seen them before. There's always the rookie, soldier who's out on his first mission. He's usually just right out of high school. And then there's the soldier who's just about to get married. And then there's the other one who's expecting a baby. So they have these little cliche characters that we've seen before. Nothing new was brought into it. So overall, I give this movie about 3 out of 5. And I'll tell you why. I think it definitely delivered on the action, had great, special effects, and the aliens looked good. I will also give it a point, or maybe half a point, but I'll say I'll give it a point. It got one for the acting. I mean, it wasn't cheesy, it wasn't horrible. They were believable. And I will also give a point for recommendation. Even though it wasn't really my favorite movie, I definitely would recommend this to somebody if they asked me if it was good or not. Of course, the way that prices are at the movies, I don't know if any movie's worth going to see at the theater, but you will not be completely bored from this movie. It's not something that's going to make you fall asleep or just walk out and just say, oh, that was total, garbage. It actually did deliver some good action, and I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff, they definitely do some of the sci-fi, and they do a lot of the action, so I would definitely recommend this to somebody. But it definitely loses a point for writing, because I wanted to get more background on the aliens and why they were there, and just sort of that sort of part instead of just focusing just on the platoon. And it also lost replay value because I definitely do not need to see this movie again. I'm glad that I watched it, in the memory banks. I saw it, don't need to see it again. So yeah, there you have it. 3 out of 5. You tell me what you think.